Okay, we are on the record. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is a special, very special meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. Today is Thursday, the second day of June. We had a 5:30 scheduled time start. It is actually 5:34. For roll call, Councilperson Gajewski.
Here.
Baggiano.
Here.
Yun.
Here.
Osborne.
Here.
Coleman.
Here.
Rivera.
Here.
Waterman.
Here.
Council President Lavarro.
Here.
Would everyone kindly rise to observe a moment of silence?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Council President and members, in that this is a special meeting, notice of this meeting was disseminated to the local newspapers, to the Mayor, Council, and Business Administrator on Friday, May 27th at 2:30 p.m. We have a single reason for this meeting today, and it is to consider Resolution 10A, a resolution appointing John J. Hallinan III as a council member for Ward B to serve until the next general election, November 8th, 2016.
Robert, I have a question for council. The date on this resolution says until November 8th, 2016. I was just curious why it didn't. I would have expected that it was going to go through December 31st. Or is a special election different in that the next day the person takes office?
The next day, the next person takes office.
As soon as the election results are certified,
Okay.
the person would assume office. Generally, it's the Monday thereafter.
Okay, Council President?
Yes, Councilman.
Council President, yeah. This is the first serving the councilman. I didn't know that actually what kind of processing we take for replace, council members. But as I understand, I only had the information through the newspaper. So now, I got all the resume for, I think, 15 people's candidate this Thursday, Tuesday. Tuesday, I got the email from the actually council president. And actually, other things, I never get chance to interview them, or I never get chance, opportunity to hear that in a platform as a, candidate for council would be. So I like this moment, and the processing have to be open to public. Everybody have to give same equal opportunity to express their concern. So I like to make a motion to allow all the council be candidate to have 5 minutes speak of their concern or their platforms. So I like to, motion to.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Councilperson Yun, seconded by Baggiano, and this is to offer the council candidates 5 minutes to speak.
To their own platform to be as councilperson in the future, councilperson in the would be,
On the motion, Councilperson Gajewski.
No.
Baggiano.
Aye.
Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
I'm just going to say that I completely disagree with the comment that we needed to have a different process. I think it was incumbent upon each of the council members here. We're all big girls and boys. We could all put on our own pants, and any of us could have reached out to a reporter. Any of us could have solicited resumes. I know I've talked to more than one person. More than one person has approached me. I think this is we have one name in front of us. I think it's kind of silly to try and make people think that it's anything other than that. Anybody here could have nominated anybody. I'm going to vote no.
Coleman.
I think it's wonderful that the person that's before us has some experience. I know as a councilwoman, when I was first elected, it took me 7 months to get a key to the back door. So I know how difficult it is, and we only have from now until November. We need someone who can hit the ground running, as far as I'm concerned. So I think I've already made my decision, and I vote no.
Councilperson Rivera.
No.
Councilperson Waterman.
No.
And Council President Lavara.
Yeah, to those folks who submitted their resumes, thank you for offering and volunteering your service in that way. The process was, as the mayor solicited the resumes and letters of interest from folks. I personally reached out to the mayor, asked for those resumes as well. Granted, we got them back to everyone else only on Tuesday. But I did have conversations with other potential interested candidates as well. As the Councilwoman Osborne said, everyone had the opportunity to do that. And also every council person, as was discussed in the past, has the opportunity to also present a resolution if they wanted another candidate to be considered for appointment to the seat. So I say respectfully to the folks who did apply and who may be here, that it would be disingenuous, because I think at least the majority of the council members have come to a conclusion on this. That's why you have a resolution that includes the particular individual who's going to be considered for appointment tonight. So I will vote no as well.
Okay, the motion fails. 2 votes in the affirmative. Council members Bajiano and Yun voting in the affirmative. We're going to move right to a vote on
Council
Resolution
President?
10A.
Council President, can I make another motion? You know, I know that John is a very wonderful man. Always I had dreamed years ago, why did he not serve as a councilman? That's my personal thing. So I really have a lot of respect with him. But first things they have to be open and transparent. And not only I heard the individually interview, but I think the public have a right to hear your opinion and your platform. So I'd like to make a motion to John, what is the last name? Okay. Yeah, Holloman, right.
Third.
To speak to your own platform to as a council would be, you know, the future plans or where you stand. I'd like to ask him to come up before we take a vote, at least 5 minutes to present to yourself.
What's that? All right, I'll second it.
We have a motion
Dog under they want to get
to request Mr. Hallinan by Councilperson Yun, seconded by Councilperson Bajiano. Councilperson Gajewski?
No.
Bajiano?
Yes.
Yun?
Yes.
Osborne?
I mean, this is getting silly, so I'll just ask Mr. Hall, would you like to get up and speak?
I have no problem speaking. It's whatever the council votes for.
I'll vote yes.
Yeah.
Councilperson Coleman?
You know, why don't we just bring him up?
Well, I've already met with Mr. Holler, and I've worked with him. He's a brilliant attorney. He's thorough. He researches. We've worked on several projects together. He's very, very much aware of where we are at this moment in Ward B and in the city of Jersey City. So his platform has to be to improve the process for Jersey City. He's already been an employee of the city, and I don't know why we're going through this. It doesn't make sense to me. I've already met with him. Maybe you guys should have met with him too, and then you would know what the process is.
Diane, we don't have to meet with him. We know.
Well, I vote no. I already met with them. I already had my 5 minutes, my 15 minutes, my half hour.
Councilperson Rivera?
No.
Councilperson Waterman? Council President?
I've had several meetings with John, and we've had the opportunity to vet him. So while I understand that the idea that allowing John the opportunity to publicly speak, it would be, as a courtesy, would have been good to have let him know that that would be part of the process tonight. While I'm sure he would be able to speak effectively as to his priorities and vision for Ward B, I'm going to vote no, and then offer him, after the vote, the opportunity to speak
Very good.
and
Thank
share a
you.
few words.
Okay, this motion also fails. 3 votes in the affirmative, 5 against. Voting in the affirmative, Yun, Agiano, and Osborne. All right, resolution appointing John J. Hallinan III as a council member for Ward B to serve until the next general election. Councilperson Gajewski.
John is an excellent person to fill this seat, and I vote aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
John knows exactly where I'm coming from. The whole matter came down to transparency. My son went to school with John. I know his father really well. I know John very well for years and years. But the point is that this council should have had the decision. This council, I had to send a letter threatening a lawsuit last week if we didn't get the resumes. And we got them on, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday. So when they say go see the people who they are, I knew of 2 people that were running who I know well. But John, you know where I'm coming from, and you know where all along I've been speaking to you. I vote yes. And John, just remember what I told you, okay?
Councilperson Yun.
Well, I'm not individually, not against John. Actually, it's, as I mentioned to that, as I know that you are a great man, for the communities. But my concern is the processing, Actually, this city council have to be more time to opportunity to individually interview and discuss. But not only that, not only we individually council members interview, but also public have opportunity to hear your voice, and also not only your voice, other candidate. I think that's more fair, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to vote for no, not because against you, but against the processing what this council taking. All right?
I thought he should have voted yes.
Absolutely.
Councilperson Osborne.
I think my vote is going to be on outcome. But before I give my vote, I want to say I think the process was awesome. It was great. And when was the last time there was an open call? Hey, anybody who's interested can apply, and a vetting process and people being interviewed. And again, I go back to personal accountability. Anybody sitting here could have done the same thing, and none of them did. So it's so easy to me to say that the process was wonderful. In terms of John, this is somebody who's sat on the other side, who's been looking at everything, who's been looking at everything that we're voting on week after week after week. I think there's not a better qualified person to be able to step into the job day one without any ramp-up time other than John. He is a man of high caliber and ethics, and I think it's such an easy yes. I vote yes with complete joy.
Councilperson Coleman.
I want to say the same thing. I think John is going to bring such an asset to this council. He has legal knowledge. He can correct us when we're wrong. He can give us advice on how to put together ordinances and laws that we may want to do. I think he brings an excellent, excellent value to this council. Also, he's aware of what's going on the other side, which means he can start voting as soon as he comes on the council, because he's already aware. A new person coming like me, when I first joined, I had to abstain on the budget. I had to abstain on certain things because I was new and I didn't have all of the backup and all the documents. So my first 6 months was a learning curve and abstaining on certain things that I didn't have all the information for. He doesn't have that issue. He's going to come here very much aware and very much to put us in our place with his legal knowledge if we're out of line. And I appreciate a council member who's going to bring that kind of asset to the table. As for the other people who applied, I read 3 resumes that were outstanding. However, I was a new council member on the previous administration, and my first 6 months were crazy like that. John has 6 months to fill this gap, and I don't think we should take 6 months to train a new person. They have those opportunities when the special election comes, and they can start learning now so that they can be ready. So with that, also, John is a great person. I've worked with him personally on issues that I've had, and he's helped this council tremendously. I vote aye.
John,
Councilperson Rivera.
I apologize for Councilman Yoon's gibberish. Sorry about that. But I'll tell you one thing. There's been many, like Councilwoman Coleman said, a lot of, we did receive resumes, and there's a lot of advocates in Ward B. Former Councilman Chico Ramchow was a great advocate in Ward B, and I'm sure that you are going to fit in that process and into that spot real good. I welcome you, and I'm excited to have you amongst our team, and without a doubt, I vote aye.
Councilperson Waterman.
First, I would like to thank everyone who submitted an application. We did receive them, and each council person did look over them, and we did speak to some of the candidates. And anytime you apply for a job, it's up to the employer to look at that application and see who really qualifies. And those who qualifies, that is who you really interview, because you see the qualifications there. I saw John qualification, and it's there. I don't have a problem working with John. John is really just a Jersey City boy. And working in the city, you need somebody that is really just a Jersey City boy, because you can reach the people, and that's so important. I understand what Michael is saying, but part of our responsibility as a council person is seeking out information too. And we did seek out the information, and we did receive it. So I vote yes for John. I think, John, you're going to do an excellent job, and I believe that because you have this law background, it will help the council, because there are issues at times that we do need a silent voice of a lawyer. And that's what we need to make sure that this council run efficiently. So I welcome you. And if there's anything that I can do to help you in any way in Ward B, feel free to call me.
Council President.
So the process has already been spoken about, and did receive all of the resumes, and the mayor interviewed individuals, and I spoke to a number of people who were also who expressed interest in the position. The mayor made this recommendation, made the recommendation of John Hallinan, and I think it's a very good recommendation. John, as the mayor explained to me, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, he represents an old Jersey City. His family has been in Jersey City for a long time. They have deep roots in the community at St. Aloysius Parish, and has been very involved, particularly on historic issues and Landmark Conservancy and so forth. John has been very involved in those matters as well. And particularly when we have the West Bergen Historic District, I think you come in very useful in that area as well. And the thing about John is also that he recognizes the growth of Jersey City and the influx of new residents as well, and Jersey City's continuing unprecedented growth that's going on. And so he's able to balance that and understands what those needs are, and I know that from talking to him and working with him on a number of the development issues. He has been kind of the go-to guy in the law department on development issues related to that. Ward B is a very incredibly diverse community, from St. Aloysius and their church, Our Lady of Victories, large Filipino populations, and so I know a number of those constituents and residents over there. The Marion section and the Gloria Robinson homes over there. So incredibly diverse, probably one of the most diverse wards in the entire city. And John and I talked about that as well. And given his deep roots, he's got a lot of connections there, and I know that he's going to be able to connect with a lot of the different communities. But as we saw at the last council meeting, when an individual from the Marion section came, we have deep needs in Ward B as well. The cries for support and assistance, the cries for people to be able to move up and to be protected in our communities, those cries are real. So I plan to work with John going forward, and he knows that that's important to me, and it's important to me in a Ward B councilman, for that council person to be able to reach out to those communities, be able to touch their lives and touch them personally. And I'm going to make sure, and John's made a commitment to doing that as well, and reaching out to all the different communities. And I'm going to make sure that I drag you along if I have to be there in all those communities. There are other things that this city has taken on in progressive legislation that's really advanced our city and to protect those who are most vulnerable in our communities, whether it be earned sick days, and more recently the 30-hour work week, which looking to untable for this city council, and to have that come to consideration for a vote here. So John and I have spoken extensively about that, that there are values there that are values of protecting again and those most vulnerable in our community and standing up for working families in this process. So in talking to John, I understand that he shares those values, and that we're going to be partners in working towards that, towards making sure that we uplift all of our communities in Jersey City, and that the development here, and he's spoken about the idea that we have two waterfronts. What I was impressed with was that we have two waterfronts in Jersey City, and one has been developed, and we need to learn from that development as well, that we need to be able to protect our longtime residents and immigrant communities and minority communities in the Ward B section and in the south side of Jersey City. So with that, I'm going to stand with you in partnership, John. We're going to work together and make sure that that's a realization for Ward B. And I vote yes.
Okay, we have a 7-1 vote. The lone no vote cast by Councilman Young. Congratulations, John.
John, would you like to address the council and the public? And
It's going to be a little awkward, council members. We're missing a camera, so you're going to be kind of talking to both crowds. John, that's the way you have to be captured. Sorry.
Talk to both
There
crowds.
you have to adjust your position
Okay.
right from the beginning.
All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the members of the Municipal Council for their affirmative vote. I wasn't prepared to provide a formal address, but I think it suffice to say that the first thing a leader has to do is listen. And I don't presume to know everyone's causes and concerns better than they do, so I have to listen to the community, and the first thing I'm going to be doing is going around to each different neighborhood association, each different civic association, and trying to gauge what their primary concerns are and figuring out how we can use the resources of the city to address those. But I can surmise that, like everyone, the top concerns are going to be public safety, quality of municipal services, how quickly the city responds to their needs, and taxes. I've lived on Gifford Avenue my entire life, and those who are familiar with Gifford Avenue know that Upper Gifford Avenue and Lower Gifford Avenue are two different worlds. And as many people have said, Jersey City is in many ways two different worlds. There are two different waterfronts, one heavily developed, one underdeveloped. Hope and despair can't continue to live in the same city unabated. We have to make sure that what happens in this city is beneficial to all. We have to make sure that everyone who has a stake in the city feels they're getting their services delivered in a timely manner, an efficient manner. And whatever small way I can in my ward, I will advocate for that every single day. I will use my opportunities on the dais behind me to advocate for those issues that I agree with the mayor on, and I recognize, and he recognizes, I think, that there may be issues that we don't see eye to eye on. I know that was a major concern. Am I a rubber stamp? And I wish you all to know that I'm not. I think independently. I think the mayor recognized that, and he expressed that to me when we met. I'll work with anyone who shares the goals of making the city and my ward a better place. And as Chico Ramchal, my immediate predecessor, said, he wanted to make the west side the best side. And I see no reason to change that general framework. So whatever I can do to do that, I will. You have my word. I will ask your help, your hand, and your vote between now and November to make sure that I get an opportunity to do so for the full term. I hope that is sufficient to answer the questions that
Very good.
the council had for me. I guess when I get sworn in, I have a list of thank yous, and I guess I'll wait till the end to give those. But I'll start working tomorrow, 9 a.m. I'll be here. I have a meeting scheduled at 10, but as soon as they get new carpeting in the office and I'll have a place to work, I'll be there for those to meet and greet, and I'll be in the ward as well. So, looking forward to tomorrow.
I'd like to ask the mayor to come up.
Mayor's in the room. Mayor, would you be so kind as to, while it's fresh, here's the oath, Bible. I don't know how your bride let you do this, John. Congratulations to both of you. Sorry, Council, you're going to have to see this.
I state your name.
I, John Joseph Hallinan III,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government established
and to the government established
in this state
in this state
and the United States
and in the United States
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of councilperson Ward B of the City of Jersey City for a term to commence on this date and expire on November 8th, 2016, according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
John, you'd like to take could you take a picture of the new council, the full council?
Up and sit in your seat now. You're sworn in. And I'll be able to better get any comments from there. Thank you. You keep one. Congratulations.
Better stop by here, too.
Stand up, Candace, I want.
Okay.
This is going to take a while, right?
I like that.
Oh.
Am I in the way?
The right side just got a little more serious.
No, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
We still got this one.
You know, Chico and I had a thing going on.
We have to all stand up?
Don't let it take you down.
And I just want you to know we share notes, we pass notes and all that. Just be prepared.
I'll pick up. Don't worry, Michael. I'll do that too. I got it.
Great.
I'm going to pick you up too.
Thank you.
Be careful. Be careful.
Motion.
Wait.
You have to say a few thank yous.
Oh, okay. I thought you was going to save that to you.
Well,
Okay. All
a
right.
couple of things I have to say.
I was motion. You know what that means, right?
I promise I'll be brief.
Okay. Take care.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank the many people who are here with me today to celebrate this day. First, I want to thank Mayor Fulop for recommending me to this post, and I want to thank the entire Municipal Council for conferring upon me this very joyful burden. I look forward to working with all of you to help move Jersey City forward. Secondly, I want to thank my wife, Liz, who has been incredibly supportive during this very major life change. I simply couldn't do it without her love and support. I wish to thank my father, Jack, whose good humor has sustained me in the last 2 weeks, and whose wise counsel will be crucial in the weeks and the months ahead. In a very special way, I have to thank Corporation Counsel Jeremy Farrell for hiring me and for entrusting me to work in municipal government at a very high level. If I have but one regret about this decision, it's leaving his employ. I owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to the senior staff of the law department, particularly my supervisor, Joanne Monahan, Tom Fadis, Vincent Signorelli, and Mike Doherty. I learned more from these individuals in 3 years than I could possibly by attending law school for 1,000, and for that I am forever grateful. To my colleagues in the law department, particularly my office mates Stevie Chambers and Zaire Estrella, who made the practice of law professionally enriching as well as personally enjoyable, I cannot thank them enough. To my family and friends, some of whom are in attendance today, particularly my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law, and to the countless others who texted me and emailed me and left me voicemails encouraging me to take this position, I want to thank you for your confidence in me, and I pledge never to disappoint you. For reasons that may or may not be obscure to them, but are perfectly clear to me, I owe a debt of thanks to Robert Byrne, Sean Gallagher, Irene McNulty, Robert Kakaleski, Megan Morey, Dan Reedon, Dave Donnelly, and Maynard Woodson. The Ward B leadership team, Freeholder Bill O'Day, Ward leaders John DiFilippo and Paul Bell and Boyer, the committee people, and all the various community leaders who have encouraged and advocated for me. I eagerly await the opportunity to work alongside you to make Ward B a better place. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to recognize my immediate predecessor, Chico Ramchal. No one among us would be content to be remembered for their most grievous mistake. Councilman Ramchal was a tireless worker, and his responsiveness to constituent needs was second to none. I thank him for his service, and I hope that he can use this time away from public life to rechannel his energies in a constructive and fulfilling way. Most of all, I hope that he can find joy and satisfaction in recalling his service to Jersey City, and that I worked with him and campaigned for him 3 years ago, and I don't regret a minute of it. As he said many times, his goal was to make the West Side the best side, and that's my goal too. And I look forward to starting work tomorrow to make that happen. So thank you all for coming out today.
Motion.
By Councilperson Coleman.
We can't do motion yet?
You did?
Oh,
I
motion.
heard you.
Okay.
Who made the second? Me. Councilperson Osborne.
Good night, everybody.
Wait, to adjourn, just all you have to do is say goodnight. To adjourn at 6:08. By acclamation, everyone say goodnight.
Good night.
I messed up the signature of this.